Today we're in the studio and we're going to walk through kind of how we might work a creative kind of shoot like this. So Kristen's our model today, and I'm just going to light her just with one beauty dish. I chose the beauty dish because it'll be kind of an edgy light, and as we've shot with her before, we found that when we put the light up really high, kind of looks nice on her. So we're going to try this just with a beauty dish. And we'll just take a couple nice photos, then we'll see if we can try throwing some hair around and make it a little bit more fun. So let's just take a couple. All right, so we have kind of some fun photos here, and I think the black background looks nice on this. But we're going to need a little bit of a fill light because she has dark hair against a dark background. So when I, take a photo, her hair just kind of, she doesn't really pop. It kind of just sinks into the background. So we can do it a couple ways. Honestly, for a hair light, you don't have to get too fancy with the kind of lighting you're using. Anything will work. We just need a little bit of light. So I'm just going to grab this softbox, and I'm going to put it up kind of high so we just get it on her head, about 1/3 power. And let's just see what we get from doing that. I'll grab my camera and let's see how we do. Okay, so now we have quite a bit of change to the photo just by having our hair kind of pop off by adding that hair light in the back. So we're doing better. But as I look at this photo, she has some really harsh shadows on her face. And it's kind of taking away from her dress here is really fun and summery, and the background is dark with lots of shadows, and it's just not doing the best. So we really need to change up our lighting concept. So, I can drop this beauty dish down just a little bit, and we won't have quite as many harsh shadows on the face. That'll help us a little bit. Those shadows won't be quite so bad. I'm just going to move up my focus point to follow her eye. Every time she's moving, I'm following with my focus point. And we're doing better. We're starting to get some fun looks. By moving that down, we're a lot closer to where we want to be. And let's try just a couple more, just kind of fun, happy poses. Okay, good. We're looking nice. The hair light did a lot for us, but the scene just doesn't quite have that summery look. So what I'm going to do is we could change the background to a white background, but one kind of fun trick is if you just get a big lighting modifier like this Octabank, and you put it right behind the model, I can set this, about to 1/2 power. And then watch what happens. The Octabank is now that white background because it's illuminated. And now watch how much we change the look of that photo. Completely different by putting it on a white background. But we still have a long ways to go. Now we have the front light, we have that back light, and if we're trying to get this bright overexposed look, we need light coming from the sides as well to fill in these shadows. Because any kind of too much shadow on this overexposed look is really going to distract the viewer. So let's see if I can get just a little bit better just by moving. So that's our photo. I could turn down this back just slightly. It's probably a little bit too hot right now. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, we're getting closer, but we still need some fill light on the side. So for that, I'm just going to move this Octabank that we were using as a hair light, but now since we're on white, we don't really need that because her dark hair is already popping off the background. I'm going to put it just about equal with her, and I'm going to scoot it way in because the closer I put the light, the softer the light is. And then I'll get another softbox and put it on this side. Now, if it might be a little bit tough to see from your angle how I'm positioning these soft boxes. What most people will do that's a fairly big mistake is you'll put the soft box so she is in the middle of it. Her head is right here. Well, if you do that, we don't care about illuminating the back of her head. We don't even see it. So we want the soft box to start right at where we're going to take the photo. Then we're making the light source seem larger and taking advantage of the full size that we have. So I'm going to scoot this up and maybe this other one up just a little bit as well, just so we're taking full advantage of that softbox. And I know I've added a lot of light right now, so I'm actually going to drop down my exposure just slightly to 1/200th of a second. We're now at f7.1. We were at f5 and 1/100th of a second ISO. So let's see how we're looking now. All right, now we're starting to really get in the zone here. Our lighting is looking about as good as it's gonna get, but now we need to work on our perspective a little bit and see what that does. So I'm gonna grab a bar stool here, always handy to have around when you're shooting portraits, that I'll often stand on the bar stool or at least kneel on it just to get a little bit higher than the model and shoot down. That different perspective can sometimes make quite a bit of difference. Right. We're getting some good looks, but the pose now is not quite as fun as the lighting. We have a lot of light here, very summery, light kind of pose, light lighting, you know, really bright. But the pose is a little bit duller. So let's try something. Let's try like really swishing that hair a whole lot this time. And let's see if we can make the pose just as fun as the lighting is. Go. Okay, what I'm going to do now is she's moving so fast that I can't quite focus and take enough shots. So I'm going to just focus on her face. If you'll look straight at me, I'm just going to focus on her face, and then I'm going to lock the focus so that now I can fire. Since I'm at f7.1, we have a lot of depth of field to work with. We should be just fine. Go. All right, and eventually we're going to fill up the buffer on our camera and we're going to have to slow down. But that's kind of how we worked through this shoot. You know, a lot of times you'll kind of say, well, I'm on a black background, and you just kind of shoot where you are, but we kind of based this whole shoot off her dress. It's a fun, bright dress, and the lighting, how we had it before, was too moody, too dark to take advantage of that. So we've changed things around, and we came up with some really fun shots. If you're new to studio photography, it might seem intimidating to play with a lot of flashes, but you can see that all we're doing is just one at a time. If there's no way that I could just walk up here and set up 4 lights and see that they're all on the right power and make it work. But if I just work one at a time, if I just have the beauty dish and I say, okay, that's my main light. Now I want her on a white background, let's just put that one in. And every time you put in a flash, you're fixing a problem. You're never going to be able to just go all 4 flashes at once. So go step by step, and your lighting results will be much, much cleaner. Thanks for joining me today.